Hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. We are super excited that you are able to join us for our regularly scheduled program, and we have a treat for you all tonight. So I'm going to introduce my guest, and then we're going to dive right into our show. And as promised to you last week, and on Tuesday, we have a special treat for you guys. So you definitely want to stay with us throughout the entire program. You don't want to miss this. So my guest tonight is Miss Jeanne Muhammad. She is a certified life and happiness coach. She's a certified assertive and confidence coach. She's an inspirational speaker. She's an author, and her field of expertise is self-improvement. She has authored 3 hard copy books, 2 ebooks, all dealing with the subject self-improvement. She's a blogger. She publishes weekly blogs on her personal website, IamJeanneM.com, and also for Abundance19.com. She is passionate about self-improvement, and we're going to talk about self-improvement tonight and different ways that we can make sure that we are taking care of ourselves in order to be able to take care of others. We know that especially as women, we tend to just pour out of ourselves without replenishing what we have already depleted. So stay tuned after our introduction, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight, is how we can take care of ourselves, ladies. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you're left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride, because you're finally at home at Keever's Place. Welcome to Inner Peace and Serenity with your host, speaker, coach, facilitator, Jeanne Muhammad. Join us every first Thursday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we talk everything self-improvement. So take back your pen, take back your life, right here on Keever's Place.
Welcome back to Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. So we are going to bring to the stage the one, the only Miss Jeanne Muhammad, and we're going to dive right into our topic for tonight, self-improvement. So come on in the room, Queen. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, Keever?
I am doing so good, and I'm so glad to have you in the house tonight, so we can definitely talk about this much needed conversation tonight.
Yes, ma'am. I have been so looking forward to this, Keever. It is truly a blessing for me.
Well, I am super excited to have you, and we're going to share something coming up a little bit later on in our show, but let's just allow you this opportunity to just give a little bit more background about who you are and what got you into the topic of self-improvement.
Okay, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to make it short. I grew up where I was born. I was born into poverty. I was born in the middle of a cotton field in a 2-room, I say shack. It was a shack. No running water, no electricity. No, it was just in Louisiana, a little town called in the country, McDade, Louisiana. And growing up there, I grew up in an abusive home. My father was very abusive towards my mother. I was very sickly as a child. I had a chronic case of asthma as a child. And in fact, I was given up for dead 2 or 3 times by the doctors. And so I grew up really not having a good concept of myself. I would I had low self-esteem, and I ended up leaving home when I was 16. I left home. I went to California. I lived with an aunt and uncle. I was blessed to go to college, finish high school, go to college, but I had all this baggage with me. I had low self-esteem. I didn't think very much of myself, so I ended up going in and out of abusive relationships. I ended up on drugs, alcohol. I abused drugs. I abused alcohol. I was in and out. And in fact, I used to say, I thought on my forehead must have said victim, victim. Everybody thought they could, treat me in every kind of way. And I didn't think enough of myself to demand more. And so I ended up just really hitting rock bottom. But I was constantly in prayer. I mean, I constantly prayed. I constantly prayed and asked God to, to help me, to bring me out of these situations. And finally, I came into the nation. And after I came into the nation under Minister Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan, I started changing. I started really studying and praying and asking God to, to show me what He wanted me to do with my life. And I realized that, through the teachings that we were taught, that everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. It's an aim. We didn't just come into this world, just haphazardly. So I started searching for my purpose. I started saying, God, what should I do? Where do I fit in? And I realized that all the things that I've been through, all the pain that I went through and overcame, was something that I could use to help others. And I started realizing that all of that pain and that suffering was actually a blessing. And that's what started me on the journey. That's what started me searching. And I'm still on the journey. I'm still searching. I'm still learning. That's the one thing that I have learned, is that, it's a never ending journey. But, so that's how I got into self-improvement. And because Minister Farrakhan wrote this book called Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development. And that was what I focused on, was improving myself and what I can do to improve myself. And I realized that, self, it is all about self. It's not about Keever. It's not about anybody else. It's all about, what can I do to improve myself?
I love that. I love that a lot. And I'm not in the nation, but I am an ordained minister as well. And I love the fact that you were able to prioritize your struggles and realize that even though bad things happen to us, it's not the end of the world. And we can draw, I'm a firm believer that God allows the strongest people to endure the toughest situations. I'm a firm believer of that, because I believe that not everyone is equipped to handle or deal with your particular journey. And for you growing up as harshly as you did, but recognizing, Jeannie, that your struggles was, even though you endured it, you walked it, it was not for you. Your struggles, I believe, and that's what people don't realize when we are dealt that hard hand. Because I also grew up in poverty. I am a product of an abusive home. My father was extremely abusive to my mother, I was the oldest of three girls, but still yet, and I did not abuse drugs or alcohol, but I dealt with issues stemming from that particular environment. But still yet, even though it was hard coming up, we can still draw from those hard knocks that life has given us, not for us, but to be able to empower and encourage and teach and coach other people. So I want to just thank you, first of all, for being transparent in this moment and sharing that, so that others can see that it really doesn't matter where you come from. Really doesn't matter the hand you're dealt. What matters is how you deal with it, how you seek strength, and how do you grow from it. And not only that, teach how can we help somebody that may be going through the exact same thing and not knowing how to proceed or how to move forward or how to get out of that situation. So I just thank you for recognizing that your struggles was bigger than you, and it was bigger than me. So I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Keever, and I really appreciate your providing this platform, because it is so wonderful to be able to be transparent. It's so wonderful to have someone that provides a avenue for me to be able to express what I want to express, because I know it's not for me. I know that. I and see, that brings tears to my eyes when I think about the fact that I know it's not for me. I know that everything that I was allowed to suffer was not really and it was, when I look back on it, I can see where I can see the good. See, that's one thing that I have learned. That's one thing about having inner peace, is to be able to, whatever situation you're in, just like I said, earlier, you know, I've been looking forward to this, but we have technical problems. I had technical problems, but it's okay. It's okay, because I know that that's part of having that inner peace, that when things don't go the way that you think that they should go, or when life throws you a curve, that you don't just panic and give up and think that's the end, because it may be a blessing in disguise. You just have to look for it. You just have to look for the positive in every situation, because it's there. It's always there.
And then I love, and we also have to keep in mind that we are tested and tried what we say,
Yes.
so yes. this is actually our test and our trial tonight, because like you were saying, I mean, seemed like everything that could have gone wrong, it has tried to go wrong. But in the midst of those storms, how can we still sit and rest in that sense of peace and serenity?
Yes. 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 And that's the beauty of life, and the beauty of knowing that we have control. See, a lot of times we think we don't have control, and we try to control situations, but we may not have control of situations, but we have control of our attitudes.
Mm.
That may be the only thing you can control, is your attitude. How do you when you're confronted with a situation, and a lot of times we want to change the situation, we want to change the people, we want people in our lives, and we say that, point fingers at other people, but it starts with self. That's why it's self-development. It's self-development. It's not her development or his development or their development. It's self. It starts with self. And once we understand, it's about self.
That's right. And that actually brings me to my next segment, inner peace and serenity. What does that really mean? And I think you pretty much answered it. But if you wanted to add a little extra to it, just to make sure that they have a good understanding, inner peace and serenity, when you wrote that book, what was your intention for those to be able to walk away from? Exactly what does that mean, as if how you was intending for the meaning to come across in that book?
Okay, the title of the book is Inner Peace and Serenity, a Spiritual Journey. And understanding that it is a journey. It starts with, and this was the intent of the book, to start with that in order to have that inner peace and that serenity, there are certain things that we have to do. It's not something that is abracadabra, it's work. And it starts with you deciding, or me deciding, that I want to make a change. You know, sometimes people say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. But why are you not happy? Most of the time it's because your mind, body, and soul are not in harmony with each other. And in order for us to really have inner peace and serenity, our mind, body, soul, all have to be in balance with each other. I mean, so the book is about helping, and because I am a coach, not a doctor, I'm not I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that, but being a coach, I'm a guide, and so my book is a guide to finding what is it that will give you that inner peace and the serenity. Sometimes there's a chapter in it about sleep. Sometimes people don't even really understand how important sleep is and how it can completely throw you off balance. I'm an evil person if I don't get enough sleep. I had to find that out. I don't function well without proper rest. It may be that you don't know how to just be still. Sometimes we just have our lives so full of activity that we don't give ourselves a chance to rejuvenate by just being still. Sometimes we don't pray enough. Sometimes we may need to meditate. Sometimes we need to exercise. So the book takes us through all of that. And what works for me may not work for you. We're all individuals. We're all different. So it's not a cookie cutter type thing. So my book just takes us through, okay, try this. See how this works for you. Okay, that didn't work out so good. Well, try this, and see how that works. Okay, now let's see if maybe our diet, maybe we're not eating the proper foods. So that's my book, Inner Peace. And in order to achieve it, you go on a journey, and how, like, when you're traveling, there's stops along the way. You may have an accident even, but that doesn't mean that you should stop traveling. You just take care of whatever the problem is, and get back on your in your car or however you're traveling, and you keep going. So the book it's a journey. It takes takes us on a journey of discovery, of self-discovery.
I love that so much. I love that a lot. And which actually brings me to my next segment. And you pretty much answered that too, because a lot of people struggle with, how can I find that inner peace? Because let's be honest, there's so much around us, and this world itself is in such a turmoil where it's really hard to find that inner peace. So you just said that there is a few ways that you can find inner peace. One was meditate, one was pray, one could be check your diet, one could be exercise. For some, it's just sitting in stillness and quiet. Some is sleep. So we're actually going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that a little bit and also share what you and I have cooking up. So before we do, we have a couple of comments. Tina Ramsey says, so happy that I'm on live. We're so happy to have you, Queen.
Yes.
The show. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Love her to life. So don't go anywhere. We are not quite done yet. We have a little bit more for you, and we're going to talk about what Miss Jeannie and I and Keever's Place have cooking up, and we're going to dive a little bit more into this self-reflection. So don't go anywhere, my family. Y'all stay right here.
On this journey, I found myself on the road through personal pain and discovery. I found out that there were so many women and young girls who suffered just like me due to having a lack of information about our bodies. I knew then that it was up to me to help and share what I know. So I traveled on the road that has many ups and downs in order to empower and inform young girls that there is a better way. And I'm yet on this road again, which is very uncertain, but there are many bright moments along the way with inspiring the next young generation of ladies to take control of their bodies, health, and minds on this road. I find myself moved with compassion and empathy for the moms who just don't know. That's why I go to many places, near and far, to inspire, to educate, to empower the next generation of women and young girls to take complete control of our minds, our bodies, and our health.
Have you ever wanted someone to talk to, but didn't know which way to turn? Have you ever needed advice in business and didn't know where to go? Well, at KLM Services Consulting and more, we can definitely be that for you. We're here to uplift, to encourage, and to coach you through difficult situations or decisions. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at KLM Services Consulting. KLM Services Consulting and more. We're here for you. Welcome to Inner Peace and Serenity with your host, speaker, coach, facilitator, Jeanne Muhammad. Join us every first Thursday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we talk everything self-improvement. So take back your pen, take back your life, right here on Keever's Place.
And we are back. We are back, family.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. And if you've noticed, we've changed our backgrounds to Inner Peace and Serenity. You ready to tell them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I am so excited about being with you the first Thursday of every month for the next year for Inner Peace and Serenity. Yes. And we are going to the next broadcast, the show Keever is and this may not be exciting when to talk about, but I'm going to talk about stress. See that, so many of us are stressed and we don't even know how to, we like, that little rat that be on that little wheel that be going around and around and around and around. And we're so stressed out, we don't know how to get off. And so, and then we don't understand why we're sick.
Mm-hmm.
We got all this illness and sickness, and we don't understand a lot of times it's the stress that we're going through. So that's going to be, we're going to talk about that, what we need to do to just get off that little wheel that keeps turning, and we keep chasing, like a dog chasing its tail. That's the way we do. That's the way we do.
Yep. And that's exactly right. And that's why I'm so excited to have this segment as part of Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast, because you will be bringing different topics dealing with self-improvement. And it just so happens that the first one will be stress. The second one could be, talking about meditation. The next one could be talking about yoga.
Yes.
So tuning in the first Thursday of every month, you will get a variety. She's really going to be teaching you a variety of different ways that you can improve yourself and just make sure that you are on the healthiest journey of self-improvement and self-awareness. You have to be self-aware about what is going on around you. So that's why I'm so excited to have you join us for the next year and just bring us so many different variety of wonderful topics so that we can really dig into our inner peace and serenity.
Hey, I think I froze up there for a minute. Am I back?
I think you're back. Yes.
Okay. But I wanted to say also, Keever, that I want to tell my age, because I think it will help people to understand how wonderful this works. I'm 73 years old, and I practice what I preach. My diet, meditating, prayer, taking me time, self-care, all of that. I do that. I'm not on any kind of medication. I do exercise. I have lots of energy. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about living. And so I just want to be able to encourage and empower so that everyone will know it starts with you. It starts with you, and each one of us can have what we want from life, but we have to put something into it. But it's possible. It's possible to just live a beautiful life free of, I'm not trying to say I don't have pains. I'm not trying to say I don't have difficulties. I'm not trying to say my life is 100% everything, but I have inner peace. I have serenity where, whenever anything happens, I can tap into that and be able to really know that the life source, my creator, I can plug in and find that peace and be able to handle whatever it is that life throws my way. And I just want to share it. I just want to be able to, and I'm sure I will learn. I found that by sharing what I have and that I am able to learn. So I'm looking forward to that also. I'm looking forward to learning.
Wow. Tina says, what? 73 years old? You look amazing. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Wait a minute. I found the fountain of youth.
Yes, you did, Queen, because you have not a sink. Listen, when I say skin smooth as butter, Queen, you are beautiful. Like no wrinkles. I mean, you're glowing. Just beautiful. So
I thank God. I really thank God.
It's proof that whatever you are doing is working, and we are so excited for you to share what you have learned, and so that we can look at 73
and be excited about it.
Exactly. I love it. I love it to life. I love it. And I just love you. I love you. You are just a beautiful soul. And I love your authenticity. What we see is what we get. And I just appreciate that about you. It's time
Thank
for us
you.
to wrap up our show. I can't believe our time is gone so quickly.
I know. But okay, the first Thursday of every month.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, so make sure that you are in the house at Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show, right here. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio. Right here, Miss Jeanne Muhammad will be joining us the first Thursdays of every month right here. And she will be teaching, sharing, coaching, loving us on
Yes.
all of that. Do you have any final words for our viewers tonight before we wrap up?
Just a quick thing. Most of us don't understand the importance of breathing correctly. So I just encourage everyone this coming week or month, when you find yourself stressed, stop and start taking deep breaths and letting them out slow. Deep breaths and letting them out slow. Deep breaths and letting them out slow. And you will find yourself starting to instantly get calm.
That I listen, she is already giving you one for the road. So that's homework. So when you start to feel yourself stressing out, take those breaths. That's wonderful advice. I'm super excited to have you, Queen. Thank you so much. And we look forward.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. And I look forward to having you next month, the first Thursday of next month, and moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hang tight. Love you much. All right, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed our show tonight. We are so excited to have Miss Jeanne Muhammad joining the Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show team and segment. I assure you, you do not want to miss her segments. Like I said, she is really going to be pouring into us on the topic of self-improvement and self-awareness. And it's something that we truly need. We need to be conscious of being self-aware and ways that we can definitely be in a place of self-improvement. It starts with us, people. It starts with us. And so she is the woman for the job. So we are definitely excited to have her. We have a couple more comments. Bettina said, amazing episode. Thank you so much, Queen, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you. She says, I look beautiful. Thank you, Queen. So do you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continuous support. We just love you here at Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. So everybody, definitely tune in next week for our regularly scheduled program. I believe we have an episode of King's Corner coming up next week, Tuesday. And also, you can come right back for our regularly scheduled program on next week, Thursday, where we will be pouring into you, sharing, connecting, and glowing together with you. So don't miss our episodes next week. And of course, come right back next month, first Thursday of the month. And if you love Miss Jeanne Muhammad tonight, don't be dismayed. She will be back. She will be back. So definitely tune in next month, first Thursday. So until next time, family, you know how we do it. It's always sad to leave you, but we gotta go. But thank you so much for watching us, and definitely tune in next week for our special edition show and our regular scheduled program. So until then, family, let's continue to share, connect, and glow together, because we understand that working together builds our network, and that leads to net worth. So thank you so much. We love you here, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you for watching Keever's Place, the Keever Murdaugh Show and podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Keever's Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Keever's Place Booking. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.